Welcome back to the Haunted Router, boys and girls. It's your favorite boy, Jeff Coates, here with his horrible camera quality. We got an analog horror right in your face. And then we got the lovable, smooth-voiced Ben from Nat One Games, incredible reader. I am
High-definition creeper
basically...
mode on this end.
Oh, genius. Guy's just a genius. When I read, I stumble, fumble, and I'm an idiot. I'm just here to be funny sometimes, as rarely as that happens. But today we're going to be jumping into one of the most recommended creepcasts I've seen across the thing that I hadn't seen covered a bunch. Now, this is from M59GAR, G-A-R, and this is called A Shattered Life. Now, of course, like always, our links are going to be in the description below if you want to read it and go find it for yourself and really just goon out to it and have a really nice session of just creepy euphoria, I guess. You are welcome to do that. And
do it while you listen to this.
Oh, dude, while you listen. Exactly, dude. It just really... Ben's voice will get anybody to the edge if they need to get to that edge.
Dude, that's what I had to audition.
Yeah.
I had to audition for this role.
I sat here.
That was 8 hours of talking.
Yeah, I just said, all right, I want you to read Moby Dick. And then I just sat here. And the more I got excited and started getting those menstruation sweats, that's how I knew I picked the right reader for the role that we have placed here today. But with anything, do you want to add anything else, Ben?
No, just my own personal thank you to M59GAR for letting us read this, and thank you all for listening at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure to rate us on Spotify. We really do appreciate that. We are eventually going to be I want to be neck and neck with Creepcast, where we can truly make out with both Meat Canyon and Wendigoon. We can all have a four-way kissing session. I think that would be really cool and really good content.
They have to respond to our DMs then.
Yeah,
we've been emailing them like crazy.
Dude, I literally showed up outside of Meat Canyon's house and said, listen, buddy, let's kiss about it. And he said, please leave my property or I will call the police. Anyways, this is A Shattered Life. I'll let Ben take it away.
I don't know when you're going to read this, but I can tell you when it started. I was out for a walk alone in the woods when the entity came for me. It was beyond a blur. It was, for lack of a better term, absence of meaning. Where it hid, there were no trees. Where it crept closer, there was no grass. Through the arc it leapt at me, there was no breeze of motion. There was no air at all. As it struck, I felt the distinct sensation of claws puncturing me somewhere unseen, somewhere I'd never felt before. My hands and arms and legs and torso seemed fine, and I wasn't bleeding, but I knew I'd been injured somehow. As I fearfully ran back home, I could tell that I was less. I was vaguely tired, and it was hard to focus at times. The solution at that early stage was easy. A big cup of coffee helped me feel normal again. For a while...
Jesus. Hold on.
I'm a monster.
Dude, but it's like this is the best Attacked by a Monster 2 paragraphs I think I've ever heard. This is so good because he didn't get
res opening. Yes,
oh my god, I know I'm cutting just the idea of getting something taken from you and you not knowing what it is. It's like a piece of his soul or something. I know we're gonna find out, but that is just juicy. The juiciness on it. Oh.
You know what though? Every morning I wake up, I feel like a piece of me is missing. Then I pour me a hot cup of Joe.
I'm not a coffee guy.
You're not a coffee guy.
I'm a Red Bull guy.
You crack a Red Bull in the morning?
Absolutely, without a doubt, dude. Every day, I drink like 2 ounces a day. I
pick me a big old boulder, and then I crack me.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning, I give my big belly a scratch, and I'm like, you're not getting any smaller today. And then I crack myself open a Red Bull. One's for drinking, and one's just for pouring on myself in the shower. I give myself a nice waterboarding session.
It's in preparation to do content.
Exactly.
For a while, that subtle drain on my spirit became lost in the ebb and flow of caffeine in my system. You could say my life began that week, actually, because that was when I met Mar. She and I got along great, though, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I fell in love with her over the phone before we even met.
Aww.
It was almost as if the strong emotions of that first week made the entity fight back. It was still with me, latched onto some invisible part of my being. The first few incidents were minor, and I hardly worried about them. The color of a neighbor's car changed from dark blue to black one morning, and I stared at it before shaking my head and shrugging off the difference. 2 days later at work, a coworker's name changed from Fred to Dan.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Dude, he's like, by the way, I really like the way that this girl is talking to me. She's got a nice voice. I gave her him an aw, but it was more like an aw gay. But like, he's like, I love the pretty sound of her voice. The first time a girl talked to me. And then like the car thing is like different light or whatever. And then just Fred turns into Dan. What? Like, that's not a...
That one is that's a really weird transformation, but the reason that I'm so intrigued by this is very Philip K. Dick, where
Don't know him.
things in reality just change. Like one day you wake up and all of a sudden your coworker has the exact same face, the exact same personality, the exact same schedule, but his name is different or something like that.
I'm gonna be honest. I have a profound knowledge of Dick, right? Big fan, all over the place. But I don't know who this Dick is. Who is this?
He wrote Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
He wrote The Minority Report, Paycheck, all of these sci-fi movies and stuff like that.
I haven't seen Paycheck, but Minority Report is super slept on, and the video game is fantastic. If you haven't played the video game for Minority Report, it might be a hard find. It's a retro game, but it is basically... God, it's Max Payne, dude. It's Max Payne. It's Max Payne with sci-fi stuff. It's so good. If you haven't seen Minority Report, that is absolute. Oh my God, he's soft flexing his books. Oh my God, dude, whole library.
All of them. This is just a big fuck of Dick.
I need to put him on my my Audible playlist, dude. I need to see if he's on like Libby and like download some audiobooks because we know I can't read. So I need to listen to the sweet sounds of some other guy tell me what the words are. But okay. No, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Blade Runner inspiration.
Yeah, where just reality is not what you think it is anymore. And I think it's cool that he feels like that it's caused by a monster attack too.
Yeah.
He's not transforming. It's things in the world are transforming since he's been hit by this.
Yeah, it's almost like an infection.
Whatever. Yeah.
Like fever dream almost.
This is fucking cool. All right. So, 2 days later at work, a coworker's name changed from Fred to Dan. I carefully asked around, but everyone said his name had always been Dan. I figured I'd just been mistaken. Maybe this guy's just an asshole.
Dude, they're playing a prank on him. Yeah, dude, I swear it's always been Dan, bro. Yeah, dude, and then as soon as he walks away, God, he's so gullible. Wait. He's like, look at this guy, dude. We're gaslighting the crap out of old Frederico over here.
That's awesome. That's too good. Then, as ridiculous as this sounds, I was peeing in my bathroom at home when I suddenly found myself on a random street. I was still in my pajamas, pants down and urinating, but now in full view of a dozen people at a bus stop. Horrified, I pulled up my clothes and ran before someone called the cops. I did manage to get home, but the experience forced me to admit that I was still in danger. The entity was doing something to me, and I didn't understand how to fight back. This bro's just like no clipping.
Yeah, dude, that's...
like through life, dude.
Oh, this is crazy. Bro found the click remote.
Somebody's clicking him.
Yeah, exactly.
Mars showed up that evening, but she had her own key.
Hey.
I asked her with confusion.
How'd you get a key?
She just laughed.
You're cute. Are you sure you're okay with this?
She opened a door and entered a room full of boxes.
I know living together is a big step, especially when we've only been dating for 3 months.
Living together? I'd literally just met her the week before. Thing was, my mother had always called me a smart cookie for a reason. I knew when to shut my yap. Instead of causing a scene, I told her everything was fine. And then I went straight to my room and began investigating. I love this guy. Oh my God.
Dude. Oh my. I know we keep cutting up real quick. But oh my God, dude. He's so not he's not the creepypasta guy. A normal creepypasta guy would be like, I swear, we just met last week. I was listening to the salty, yummy sounds of your voice on the phone, and now you're living with me? This is bonkers. And I love that he's just like, listen, I know something's going on, but if I make a scene, people will think that I'm off, so I need to figure out I need to do some digging. This is, great.
You're like, okay, yeah. No, I'm cool with it. What are you talking about? I'm so cool with this.
Great to see you, Mar.
Take a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Gene. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just going to go beat it in the bathroom real quick, and he's just in there with the laptop.
I gotta take a shit. And he like walks into a bedroom. Like, my things were just as I had left them, with no sign of the 3-month gap in habitation. But I did find something out of the ordinary. The date. I shivered angrily as I processed the truth. The entity had eaten 3 months of my life.
What the hell was I facing? What kind of creature could have consumed pieces of one's soul like that? I'd missed the most exciting part of my new relationship, and I would never understand any shared stories or in-jokes from that period. Something absurdly precious had been taken from me, and I was furious.
That fury helped suppress the entity. I never imbibed alcohol. I drank coffee religiously. I checked the date every time I woke up. For 3 years, I managed to live each day while observing nothing more than minor alterations. So we're already jumping.
Yeah, this is good. So you might be like a little caught off because it's doing it, but I like that it's not hitting us with any fluff right away. It's just saying that he's been watching and meticulously taking note of everything and every moment of the next 3 years. He wasn't drinking, he wasn't doing anything, just drinking his coffee and going day to day, seeing if there's any alterations.
Am I missing something though? Because okay, 1 second.
Well, what happened is he missed the he got 3 months taken away, started to be upset because he's like missing this time, so he started taking note of everything, and over the next 3 years he maintained everything that was going on to see if there was any changes.
But he'd literally just met Mar the week before.
He didn't meet Mar the week before. He met Mar 3 months earlier. The monster had taken 3 months of his life.
Right. Okay, so that was the feeling that he had before he walked into the bathroom, and then okay.
He checked the date when he checked.
Okay, this is what my thought process was. I guess I should just explain that. I was wondering if he was casually going into these like time dilations. Like I was wondering if I had just missed something, or if like he was just all of a sudden like, yeah, the 3 years ago that I got bit.
No.
But then a second earlier, he was like, but I just met this lady.
Yeah. So what happened was so he started noticing things at work, went home to pee, started feeling these jumps, realized when he got back home, like when he got home and his Mar came in and had a key, he was like, well, what are you doing here? Like, listen, I like you, but not that much. And she literally was like, no, we lived together. And he went and checked the time, or like the date, and realized 3 months had disappeared.
Okay. And he's already and he was attacked 3 years ago.
No. Now 3 years ago in the story, yes. Now it's 3 years ago. Okay. Because he's been meticulously taking note of everything for the last 3 years.
Okay, so this is just a big reveal to us, I guess, that it's now 3 years he's been living with these little minor alterations.
Yeah, he's starting he basically is he decided at that moment that he learned about the 3 months missing to start taking note of everything, and nothing really has changed in the next 3 years after that moment.
But now he's like starting to no-clip around.
No. He no-clipped before the 3 years. So when he was no-clipping, and where...
Okay.
When he was doing all that stuff, he realized something was up, and then he checked and lost 3 months. So now he's, for the next 3 years after that moment of the 3 months being lost, of all that no-clipping, he started taking meticulous notes for the next 3 years.
Okay. All right, so now this is a really wonky timeline. It's condensing a lot, I guess. All right, so for 3 years, I managed to live each day while observing nothing more than minor alterations. A social fact here and there, someone's job, how many kids they had, that sort of thing. The layout of nearby streets, the time my favorite television show aired, that kind of thing. Always, those changes reminded me the creature still had its claws sunk into my spirit. Not once in 3 years did I ever let myself zone out. One day, I grew careless. I let myself get really into the season finale of my favorite show. It was gripping, a fantastic story. Right at the height of the action, a young boy came up to my lounger and shook my arm. Surprised, I asked,
"Who are you? How'd you get in here?"
He laughed and smiled brightly.
"Silly Daddy."
My heart sank in my chest.
Oh.
I knew immediately what had happened. After a few masked questions, I discovered that he was 2 years old, and that he was my son.
Oh my god, another 2 years just skipped. Oh my god!
Ripping his time away, man.
That's so heartbreaking, bro.
I wonder if
Dude,
it's a memory or if this thing is like puppeting him.
dude, it's
Like
almost,
if
this is almost
all of a sudden
Alzheimer's,
he
bro.
doesn't have them. Yeah,
This is almost Alzheimer's. This is, oh, it's heartbreaking, dude. I couldn't imagine losing
so,
the, like, because, like, I have he's like a year and 3 months, I think. 4 months.
mhm.
3 months. At the, when this comes out, I'm trying to think when this is going to air, because we do these a little bit, in
Yeah.
advance, and right now, so that's why I know how old my daughter is, just trying to do the math. Anyways,
What do you think, Pat?
I
Do you think he
couldn't,
knows how old his daughter is?
I'm trying, like, I couldn't imagine not having these moments. Like, not, like, these are the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. It's the greatest, like, laying on my couch watching the, like, garbage One Piece episodes or whatever, and just her falling asleep on me is, like, the most meaningful thing in my entire life. Nothing matters to me more. So to lose all that, or to never have known all that, is just brutally heartbreaking to me.
To have it taken from you, or maybe you weren't there even the entire time.
Dude, you're just in autopilot. Or I think what's even
Autopilot.
scarier
Oh
is
my
you're not in
God, that would
autopilot.
even be-
You're being
yeah.
fully yourself, and all these great memories, and like, you
Because
didn't
there's
even
no way that
experience.
he was just like
Yeah, or they would.
zombified
She would have left
for
him.
years.
She would have left
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
So
he
it's
would've
it's
just woken
fully
up and-
him, but it's not him at the same time. Oh, it's so sad.
The agony and heartache filling my chest was nearly unbearable. Not only had I missed the birth of my son, I would never see or know the first years of his life. Mar and I had obviously gotten married and started a family in the time I'd lost, and I had no idea what joys or pains those years contained. It was snowing outside. Holding my sudden son in my lap, I sat and I watched the flakes fall outside. What kind of life was this going to be if slips in concentration would cost me years? I had to get help. The church had no idea what to do. The priests didn't believe me and told me that I had a mental health issue rather than some sort of possession. The doctors didn't have any clue. Nothing showed up on all their scans and tests, but they happily took my money in return for nothing. By the time I ran out of options, I decided to tell Mar. There was no way to know that this all looked like from... There was no way to know what this all looked like from her side. What was I like when I wasn't there? Did I still take our son to school? Did I still do my job? Clearly I did, because she seemed to be none the wiser. But I still had a horrible feeling that something must have been missing in her life when I wasn't actually home inside my own head.
Oh, so
But the
sad.
night I set up...
So
Yeah.
sad.
But the night I set up for a nice dinner in preparation, she arrived not by unlocking the front door, but by knocking on it. I answered and found that she was in a nice dress. She was happily surprised by the settings on the table.
Fancy dinner for a second date. I knew you were sweet on me.
Thank the Lord I knew when to keep my mouth shut. If I'd gone on about being married and having a son, she might have run for the hills. Instead, I took her coat and sat down for our second date. Dude, is it like... maybe it's like ripping him back and forth in time?
Yeah, maybe.
Just he never knows, like, what to do?
Yeah, that would. It's like cutouts. There was like a movie about like time travel like this. It was like, I can't remember what it was called. It was crap. It was a bad movie. It was about like a chick and her husband was about to die, and I don't remember what the actual movie was. But I just remember the guy who played the Hulk in the Ang Lee movie was like here and there and there. If somebody knows it in the comments, let me know. But yeah,
Time Traveler's Wife, I think.
yeah. That's it. The time traveler's wife. There's a good version of that. So that movie is like a sequel to a book, and there's another one with like a ginger guy that's really really good. That's like the prequel, but that one's garbage. I hated that movie.
That's weird. I've never seen either, but yeah, I just whenever you were like it's about the wife of a time traveler.
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
I
duh,
think
yeah.
I know this. Yeah. Thank the Lord I knew when to keep my mouth shut. If I'd gone on about being married and having a son, she might have run for the hills. Instead, I took her coat and sat down for our second date. Through carefully crafted questions, I managed to deduce the truth. This really was our second date. She saw relief and happiness in me, but interpreted that as dating jitters. I was just excited to realize that the entity wasn't necessarily eating whole portions of my life. The symptoms, as I was beginning to understand them, were more like the consequences of a shattered soul. The creature had wounded me, broken me into pieces. Perhaps I was to live my life out of order, but at least I would actually get to live it. And so it went, for a few years, from from my perspective. While minor changes in politics or geography would happen daily, major shifts in my mental location only happened every couple months. When I found myself in a new place and time in my life, I just shut up and listened, making sure to get the lay of the land before doing anything to avoid making mistakes. On the farthest flung leap yet, I met my 6-year-old grandson, and I asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He said,
"A raker!"
I told him that was a fine idea. Then, I was back in month 2 of my relationship with Mar, and I had the best night with her on the riverfront. When I say the best, I mean the best. Knowing how special she would become to me, I asked her to move in. I got to live through what I'd missed the first go-round, and I came to understand that I was never mentally absent. I would always be there, eventually. When we were moving our boxes in, she stopped for a moment and said that she marveled at my great love, as if I'd known her for a lifetime, and never once doubted she was the one.
That's so sweet. This is like super sweet.
This is a roller coaster,
dude. This is brilliant. I'm like, this is so good, dude. This is so good. Jesus. Like, I thought it was just gonna like mess with time and it was gonna like jump him forward, but the fact that we're going back and forth and like we're like seeing that he's gonna seize like the love of his life in like the later years and then the beginning years. Oh, it's just, this is a brilliant roller coaster ride. I am so locked in.
Rug pool. And here it comes. That was the first time I'd truly laughed freely and wholeheartedly since the entity had wounded me. She was right about my love for her, but for exactly the reason she'd considered a silly romantic analogy. I had known her my whole life, and I'd come to terms with my situation and found peace with it. It wasn't so bad to have sneak peeks at all the best parts ahead. But of course, I wouldn't be writing this if it hadn't gotten worse. The entity was still with me. It had not wounded me, and departed like I'd wanted to believe. Ah, my nose. God.
Bro's dying.
Itchy mustache. Alright. The entity was still with me. It had not wounded me, and departed like I'd wanted to believe. The closest I can describe my growing understanding was that the creature was burrowing deeper into my psyche, fracturing it into smaller pieces. Instead of months between major shifts, I began only having weeks. Once I'd noticed that trend, I feared my ultimate fate would be to jump between times in my life, heartbeat by heartbeat, forever confused, forever lost. Only an instant in each time meant I would never be able to speak with anyone else, never be able to hold a conversation, never express or receive love. Dude, what the hell?
Oh God, this is brutal. That like actually shot terror into my soul. Like, I have yet to like actually been like afraid, like have like that little skip. That put a skip in me. That put a skip.
That's happening,
dude. Oh God, that'd be so brutal. Could you just imagine not even like being able to say a word? It goes into this like idea of like claustrophobia almost. That you're just seeing all these flashes. It's like a reel that you got the Clockwork Orange thing behind you, and it's 100% like him being strapped in the chair in Clockwork Orange. Only this guy really didn't deserve it. Clockwork Orange guy deserved that 100%. What an awful person. They're awful.
We don't know if our narrator deserved it.
The narrator. Well, I mean, come on. So far, he was
with the narrator, but I've been Black Mirrored too many times.
You're right. I just feel like the guy was just in the woods and just got like a little bit smothered.
Even on Mar,
there was one like goblin lady who looked like a burnt down trucker just. And she just like sucked the part of his soul out, and not the good kind of sucking. So it's just brutal. This
guy was like way more grotesque than we're picturing him as. No, I just picture him as just like a chill guy. But every once in a while, he's just like,
"Oh, Grandpa,
like,
you get the fuck away from me!"
Yeah, they're like, he just does that from time to time. He's just jumping. That's what they call it. As the true depth of that fear came upon me, I sat in an older version of me and watched the snow falling outside. That was the one constant in my life. The weather didn't care who I was or what pains I had to face. Nature was always there. The falling snow was always like a little hook that kept me in place. Pure emotional peace it brought was like a panacea on my mental wounds, and I'd never yet shifted while watching the pattern of falling white and thinking of the times I'd gone sledding or built a snow fort as a child. A teenager touches my arm.
Grandpa.
Startled me out of my thoughts, so I was less careful than usual.
Who are you?
He half grinned, as if not sure whether I was joking. Handing me a stack of papers, he said,
It's my first attempt at a novel. Will you read it and tell me what you think?
"Ah, of course."
Pursuing the dream of being a writer, I see.
He turned bright red.
Trying to, anyway.
All right, run off. I'll read it now.
The words were blurry and annoyed. The words were blurry and annoyed. I looked for glasses I probably had for reading. Being old was terrible, and I wanted to leap back into a younger year. But not before I read his book. I found my glasses in a sweater pocket and began leafing through. Mar puttered in and out of the living room, still beautiful, but I had to focus. I didn't know how much time I would have there. It seemed that we had relatives over. Was it Christmas? A pair of adults and a couple of kids I didn't recognize tromped through the hallway, and I saw my son, now adult, walk by with his wife on the way out of the door. As a group, the extended family began sledding outside. Finally, I finished reading the story, and I called out for my grandson. He rushed down the stairs and into the living room.
How was it?
Well, it was terrible.
I told him truthfully.
But it's terrible for all the right reasons. You're still a young man, so your characters behave like young people. But the structure of the story itself is very solid. I didn't expect it to turn out to be a horror story.
He nodded.
It's a reflection of the times. Expectations of the future are dismal, not hopeful like they used to be.
You're far too young to be aware like that.
I told him. An idea occurred to me.
If you're into horror, do you know anything about strange creatures?
Sure, I read everything I can. Love it!
Warily, I scanned the entrances to the living room. Everyone was busy outside. For the first time, I opened up to someone in my life about what I was experiencing. In hushed tones, I told him about my fragmented consciousness. For a teenager, he took it well.
You're serious?
Yes.
He donned the determined look of a grown man accepting a quest.
I'll look into it, see what I can find out. You should start writing down everything you experience. Build some sort of data. Maybe we can map out your psychic wound.
Wow.
Sounds like a pain. Oh, sounds like a plan.
I was surprised. That made sense, and I hadn't expected him to have a serious response.
But how will I get the notepads in one place?
Let's come up with somewhere for you to leave them.
He said, frowning with thought.
Then I'll get them and we can trace your path you're taking through your own life. See if there's a pattern.
For the first time since the situation had gotten worse, I felt hope again.
How about under the stairs? Nobody ever goes under there.
Sure.
He turned and left the living room. Dude, yes, finally we're getting some action in this.
Oh, this is gonna be great, dude.
If they were like literally going to like go and fight his Alzheimer's out in the woods, that would be fucking. If they just kill his Alzheimer's like with a shotgun.
Listen here, Alzheimer's.
We're gonna hunt
You've
down
met
and
your
kill this
match. This is gonna get absolutely bonkers.
And it just does like the most Reddit rug pull. Fucking Kale comes running in.
Hey, cabron! I found
Yeah.
an Alzheimer's out in the woods there. Is that there? Let's go kill that son of a bitch.
We have to throw in jokes, people, because we're pretty sure that we're reading a really fucking heavy story right now.
This is gonna be a dark. This might make me cry. We'll see.
I'm getting. All right. I peered after him. I heard him banging around near the stairs. Finally, he returned with a box, laid it on the carpet, and opened it to reveal a bursting stack of papers. He exclaimed.
Holy crap!
But of course, being a teenager, he didn't really say crap.
Holy shnikes!
Holy moly, Gramps. Taken aback, I blinked rapidly, forgiving his cussing because of the shock.
Did I write those?
He looked up at me with wonder.
Yeah, or you will. You will have to write them and put them under the stairs after this.
He gazed back down at the papers, then covered the box.
So you probably didn't see what they say. That could get weird. Or you probably shouldn't see what they say. That could get weird.
That much I understood.
Right.
He gulped.
There are like 50 boxes under there, all filled up like this. Deciphering these, well, take a very long time.
His tone dropped to deadly seriousness.
But I will save you, Grandpa, because I don't think anyone else can.
Tears flowed down my cheeks then, and I couldn't help but sob once or twice. I hadn't realized how lonely I'd become in my shifting prison of awareness until I finally had someone who understood.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then I was young again, and at work on a random Tuesday. Once the sadness and relief faded, anger and determination replaced them. After I finished my work, I grabbed some paper and began writing. While the weeks shifted around me, while those weeks became days and then hours, I wrote every single spare moment about when and where I thought I was. I put them under the stairs out of order. On the first box, my first box was actually the 30th, and my last box was the first. Once I had over 50 boxes written from my perspective, and once my shifting became a matter of minutes, I knew it was up to my grandson to take it from there. It really is accelerating.
Jeez, dude, this is brutal.
Minutes?
Oh god, that would suck so bad, dude. Could you imagine just like
He doesn't even have time to do the task or whatever. that
he
he's in the middle
literally
of, and the
pops
minute-
in, grabs a piece of paper, looks around at what time, he looks at the date and where he's at and what's going on, and then pops to another one. He's just basically constantly writing, and when it's at minutes, he can't. God damn, dude, this is brutal.
I put my head down and stopped looking. I couldn't stand the river of changing awareness any longer. Names and places and dates and jobs and colors and people were all wrong and different. I'd never been older. I sat watching the snow fall. A man of at least 30 that I vaguely recognized entered the room.
Come on. I think I finally figured it out.
I was so frail that moving was painful.
Are you him? Are you my grandson? Yes.
He took me to a room filled with strange equipment and sat me in a rubber chair facing a large mirror twice the height of a man.
The pattern finally revealed itself. How long have you worked on this?
I asked him, aghast.
Tell me you didn't miss your life like I'm missing mine.
His expression was both stone cold and furiously resolute.
It'll be worth it.
Alright, I know that this is a heavy moment, but if he just like electrocutes if he just throws the switch, he's just like
Yeah, fuck you, Grandpa.
oh, that's right, I forgot to put that. Yeah, just like you, Grandpa.
You set me
all
up.
over everything.
50 boxes! 50 damn boxes all out of order! It made no sense! I sat here day in, day out, reading your stupid mumbo-jumbo. Sometimes it was just like, the color of the wall is pink. What am I supposed to do with that, Grandpa?
He brought two thin metal rods close to my arm, and then nodded at the mirror.
Look, this shock is carefully calibrated.
The electric zap from his device was startling, but not painful. In the mirror, I saw a rapid, arcing light silhouette appear above my head and shoulder. The electricity moved through the creature like a wave, briefly revealing the terrible nature of what was happening to me. A bulging, leech-like mouth was wrapped around the back of my head, coming down to my eyebrows and touching each ear, and its slug-like body ran over my shoulder and into my very soul. It was a parasite, and it was feeding on my mind. My now adult grandson held my hand as I took in the horror. After a moment, he asked,
Removing it's gonna hurt very badly. Are you up for this?
fearful, I asked.
Is Ma here?
His face softened.
No, not for a few years now.
I could tell from his reaction what had happened, but I didn't want it to be true.
Oh. We have this conversation a lot.
he responded.
Are you sure you want to know? It never makes you feel better.
Tears brimmed in my eyes.
I don't care if it hurts, or if I die. I don't want to stay in a time where she's not alive.
He made a sympathetic noise of understanding, and then returned to his machines to hook several wires, diodes, and other bits of technology to my limbs and forehead. While he did so, he talked.
I've worked on this for 2 decades to figure it out, and I've had a ton of help from other researchers of the occult. This parasite doesn't technically exist on our planet. It's one of the lesser spawns of and it would feed on the perplexus of mind and soul and the quantum continuance of reality. When details like names, colors, and objects changed, you weren't going crazy. The web of your existence was merely losing strange as the creature ate its way through you.
Jesus Christ. That's fucking wild. Terrifying monster, too. I didn't fully understand. I looked up in confusion as he placed a circlet of electronics like a crown on my head, an exact line where the parasite's mouth had ringed me.
What is she about to get up there to do?
He paused his work and grew pale.
I forgot you wouldn't know. You're lucky, believe me.
After a deep breath, he began moving again, and placed his fingers near a few switches.
Ready? This is carefully tuned to make your nervous system extremely unappetizing to the parasite, but it's basically electroshock therapy.
I could still see Mars smile. Even though she was dead, I'd just been with her moments ago.
Oh, do it!
The click of a switch echoed in my ears, and I almost laughed at how mild the electricity was. It didn't feel like anything, at least at first. Then, I saw the mirror shaking, and my body within that image convulsing. Oh, no. It did hurt. Nothing had ever been more painful. It was just so excruciating that my mind hadn't been able to immediately process it. As my vision shook and fire burned in every nerve in my body, I could see the reflected, trembling light silhouette of the parasite on my head as it writhed in agony equal to mine. It had claws, 6 clawed lizard-like limbs under its leech-like body, and it cut into me in an attempt to stay latched on. The electricity made my memories flare. Mars' smile was foremost, lit brightly in front of a warm fire as the snow fell past the window behind her. The edges of that memory began lighting up, and I realized that my life was one continuous stretch of experience. It was only the awareness of it that had been fragmented by that feasting evil on my back. I'd never managed to be there for the birth of my son. I jumped around it a dozen times, but never actually lived it. For the first time, I got to hold Mars' hand and be there for her. No. No! That moment had shifted seamlessly into holding her hand as she lay in a hospital bed for a very different reason. Not this. God, why? It was so merciless to make me remember this. I broke down in tears as nurses rushed into the room. I didn't want to know. I didn't want to experience it. I had seen all the good parts, but I hadn't wanted the worst part, the inevitable end that we all would one day face. It wasn't worth it. It was tainted. All that joy was given back 10,000-fold as pain. The fire in my body and in my brain surged to sheer white torture, and I screamed. My scream faded in a surprised shout as the machines and electricity and chair faded away. Snow was no longer falling around my life. I was out in the woods on a bright summer day. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
I turned to see the creature approaching me. It was the same absence of meaning, the same blank on reality. It crept forward, just like before, but this time, it hissed and turned away. I stood, astounded at being young again, and freed from the parasite. My grandson had actually done it. He'd made me an unappetizing meal, so the predator of my mind and soul had moved on in search of a different snack. I returned home in a daze, and while I was sitting there processing all that had happened, the phone rang. I looked at it in awe and sadness. I knew who it was. It was Marjorie, calling for the first time for some trivial reason she'd admit 30 years later was made up just to talk to me. But all I could see was her lying in that hospital bed dying. It was going to end in an unspeakable pain and loneliness. I would become an old man, left to sit by myself in an empty house, his soulmate gone long before him. At the end of it all, the only thing I would have left, sitting and watching the falling snow. But now, thanks to my grandson, I would also have my memories. It would be a wild ride, no matter how it ended. On a sudden impulse, I picked up the phone. With a smile, I asked,
Hey, who is this?
even though I already knew.
Dear God, dude. I'll read the author's note.
Yeah.
Author's note. Together, my grandfather and I did set out to write this tale of his life. Unfortunately, his Alzheimer's disease, progressed rapidly, and we were never able to finish. He's still alive, but I'm imagining that mentally he's in a better place than the nursing home. I would like to think that he's back to his younger days, living a life and being happy, because this reality is so much colder. It's a snowing today. He loves the snow. When I visited him, he didn't recognize me, but he did smile as he sat looking at the window. Holy shit! Holy shit, dude! Oh my God! Brutal! Dude, yeah, no, my great grandma got Alzheimer's. And my wife's grandmother has it right now. So, my uncle has it right now too. Yeah, it's brutal. It's not fun watching somebody go through that.
Brutal.
Like I remember there was a shift in my nana's perspective one day. Like she saw me, and she would like my people would tell me I look like my great grandfather a lot, but she would like look at me like I was him, which was different. They kind of like flirtatiously, and it was weird, and it always made me unsettled, and I would like maybe not want to come around as much, but I still did. But it was it's brutal to watch somebody go through that. Somebody that was like previously really strong and stuff, to watch them be taken back to not knowing where they are, the confusion. God, it's brutal. And to have a horror story written so perfectly around that.
Yeah, I think that having this thing that's not understood, and like it took like encapsulating this thing as like this otherworldly entity that they had to go and like do this occult research and this like experimental treatment for and stuff like that is such a good metaphor for how little we understand. Like that.
Well, on top of that, I mean, just think about how the person with Alzheimer's feels like at all these hospitals.
Exactly.
And all these different
Just being dragged
therapies
from
and
scene to scene in their life of lucidity again.
yeah, and like the people that they barely know, like it's gonna be okay. This is good for you. I've told you this before. It's gonna be dude, Jesus, what a! I didn't know the story was gonna turn into this. To be honest, I just saw it was recommended. Like I did one of those, was going off of different forums because I bounced between like Creepcast forum, No Sleep, some like recommended, like whatever ones are recommended on Google and stuff. And this was one of the ones I saw like that over a bunch of different places, and brilliant.
I'm so fucking happy that you found this story and that we got to read this, because this feels like the most important story that we've read so far.
Yeah, no, hands down. I mean,
Yeah.
I like, we said this last episode when we were covering that other author, and they had a way to take a very simplistic thing that we've seen a million times with the home invasion thing, and flip it on its head. And I thought that was incredibly brilliant. I mean, we threw a little bit of we beat a little bit of piss out of that author, not like mean, but like,
no.
But that one piece was pretty brilliant, and I feel like this is the same way. It took like a creature feature, but combined it with the real world terrors and pain of Alzheimer's, because I don't think there's a more terrifying disease you can get. Like, yes, cancer's
No, I can't think of one.
like,
No.
cancer's bad and scary, but like the
Cancer of mind.
it's like the cancer of
Alzheimer's?
mind is just so, it's terrifying. Like no one wants to go through that. No one likes seeing somebody go through that, because you just see a shell of who they formerly were, and they don't even know who they are anymore. And it's just, oh God, dude. Yeah, that was a heavy story. That this author's incredible though. Dear God, what a brilliant guy. I
always like to dig a few comments in, and this is the one that we'll read this time. Damn. This person said it so well.
like third
That
comment
said it
down by
so
OK
well
Tradition
right there.
3853. Just damn, dude. Oh my god, dude. Oh,
You said it best, commenter.
dude, wait,
you
wait.
really
Well,
did.
if you go a few down, it says, "I'm not crying, you're crying. I miss my grandpa."
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
brutal comment,
Dude,
dude.
this one was ripping at me while we were. Well, are you? Have you watched Black Mirror?
Yeah,
Like, have
I
you
haven't seen the newest
playtest
season.
episode. No, not that one. The playtest episode where the guy gets his brain fried, and it like he basically experiences all of the symptoms of like this. Like, well, he just doesn't know where he's at anymore, and he kind of starts like becoming Alzheimer's out in
Yeah,
like the middle of like the one where he's supposed to be playtesting the horror video game.
I
where he's,
remember
like,
that one a
in
little
VR
bit. Doesn't I
and, like-
remember he like doesn't he end up like shooting himself in that one?
Well, no, it's that he ends up spoilers. He ends up dead. He experiences all of that in like a heartbeat while he gets electric shocked because he wouldn't turn off his phone. He was taking it into like Spy or something like that for this lady on the developer.
Oh.
And his mom called and he wouldn't answer the phone for like years. He had like ran away from home and stuff like that. When he's in the memory, or when he's in the flashbacks and stuff like that, he eventually ends up at home in one of the scenes. And you get the impression that the reason that he ran away from home was that his mom was getting Alzheimer's and he didn't want to deal with it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one then.
And so like the hell that he gets stuck in is that he gets the same fucking thing back and can't get out of it. Dude, it's one of the scariest episodes. Like you said, like that's one of the most.
I might have seen it. It's been so
horrifying
long since I watched Black Mirror. The
Yeah.
last one I watched, it might. If it past the Miley Cyrus one or before it.
Before that.
Okay, okay. So when the Miley Cyrus one came out was the last episode that I watched, and that was the last time I watched any Black Mirror.
I get you.
So it's been a while to remember all that. I have a whole.
Yeah.
I've watched all of One Piece since then. So
Oh, okay.
and
I
had a
see.
baby. You hear this thing over here? Just
Brain rot. Oh,
just screeching. Yeah, she takes up way all of my attention and all my memory. But
dude, now we have to give her a voice credit and stuff.
oh yeah, dude. I'm.
Now you guys get more of the share. This is, dude. I'm getting my contract while you're on that baby.
Oh shit. She's like, I just want to be involved. But
This was not an approved feature.
read one more. Or...
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Let's go with the same author. I think this deserves another one. I mean, he did write one 20 days ago. How long is this? Your house has a
Hey.
hallway.
It's about houses.
It's about houses. Oh, this is a short one. We can do this one. We'll add this on. I mean, after that, it's going to be hard to read anything, but...
Yeah, right. Like, dude, if this one hits the same way, then we're just gonna spend the rest of the episode trashing M59 Gar and be like, "Stop making us fucking cry!"
Yeah, dude. What a brutal human,
This is
dude.
a man podcast.
We're not supposed to feel emotion. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Right. You made me cry my own tears.
Get back in there, dear.
Yeah, right. You suck that shit up. All right, all right, so we're jumping right into Your House Has a Hallway by the same author, M59 Gar. Oh, dude, I hope it's a haunted house story.
I hope
I'm
so,
in
too.
one so bad.
All right. I'll start us out. Your house has a hallway.
I'm never sure how to convey this to people. Yes, it's true, even for you. I get it. You know the layout of your own home. You know how the rooms connect. The paths you walk every day are part of your very being. They're the back of your hand. Your kids have marked their heights in blue crayon over the years on a Victorian door jamb. Your fridge lights up your entire shitty apartment. Your loft is just one room. And yet, deep down, you know the truth. Because you're asking me.
Your
house
has a hallway.
The second question is always, of course, how do you know? To which I respond,
I
know.
know because of how I found the hallway in my house. And you can find your hallway too.
it began so simply. I didn't even know what I'd discovered. I'd been awake for several minutes, but my mind had been ice skating forcefully back and forth between dreams and work stress. Eventually, I realized I had to pee. I shot up in bed and carefully climbed out so as to not wake my girlfriend. No. Right, never mind.
God damn it!
I got to the bathroom door pretty easily, considering it was completely dark. I'd stepped out into the hallway, not that hallway, of course, expecting to kick the cat. Expecting.
Yeah, hey, yo, you gotta be honest, dude. When those cats, like, when you walk out into your hallway, the cat's just like right there. You in the dark. You know, you do the foot slide thing to find the cat, so you can just like do the little like the hook shot with the cat real quick. Yeah, you're like, it's gonna latch on, but it's better than stepping on them.
Yep, sitting over there watching me from the windowsill right now. He's getting rested up because at 3 a.m. he will start kicking things around and screeching.
I'm surprised I don't have one sitting behind me. I usually always have one.
I know you usually do.
Yeah, it must have dipped out.
I need to get my cats in the background. No cat. Good. Somehow he must have not woken up at the very first potential sign of my activity. The new automated feeder I'd brought must have finally been working its way into his routines. Carefully stepping my way forward in the dark to avoid potentially crushing him. And that was the key, mind you, not the cat, but the disruption in steps. I got lost. Yeah, I got lost in my own home. Don't judge me. I'm not an idiot. It happens the instant you alter how you move in the dark. Hypothetically, you know your general location within a certain bounds. Obviously, I hadn't run a mile, so I had to be between the flower vase she'd put on that random little table and the pile of wedding gifts I'd never opened. I reached out my hands and found the wall. A nice little assurance that I was still in the physical reality I'd known all my life. But then, I made the mistake of following it by touch.
The wall can't lie to you, right?
It's the same bumpy paint, or, in your house, the same smooth wallpaper. Maybe the same dusty stone if you live in a castle, like some sort of asshole. I sought the...
I love that, dude. He's like,
I don't castle know the voice people. Of this narrator. I keep switching things around, dude. I can't voice this guy.
Dude, this guy's just like, he's so crotchety. He's so crotchety. He's like, castle people, hate them. They suck. You need one of your waiters to come bring you your poo-poo letters? Stupid castle people. I hope you all die.
It goes from like, come in, and ask me anything about this weird thing to like, I got scared trying not to step on my cat. And now he's like, if you live in a castle, you're a dick. Like, I have no idea who this character is, but I do love him.
I just picture he played Lex Luthor. What was the actor's name? Who played the original Lex Luthor? God,
I have no idea.
Oh, dude, he was so good. He was also in the Clint Eastwood Morgan Freeman movie, Unforgiven. But also Hoosiers. I can name every movie he's been in, but it reminds me of him.
Ed Harris?
No.
Oh, I was about to say. Okay.
It's Hoosiers. I'm looking it up. I got us, pimp. I got us, pimp. Movie.
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Jimmy, could you do your job, you stupid son of a gun?
Cast. Oh, right here. Gene Hackman. He reminds me of a Gene Hackman type character. Yeah, he's Gene.
Okay.
Yeah, see, my baby agrees. So she's like screeching and she's like, Gene Hackman!
Gene Hackman, that was her first word.
Obviously, it was Gene Hackman, Dad. Why are you being a dumb retard? Get out of here, brother. But he reminds me of Gene Hackman. He's
everybody knows that.
He's relaying you with his swarliness, and then he's just like, castles! God damn it, I hate castles! I love it.
She was like, R.I.P. King. I sought the way forward, running my fingers along step by uncounted step as one does, until I thought I was right in front of my bathroom door in the dark. I let go of the wall and stepped, what, left? Forward? Maybe even right. The way the wall itself should have prevented. That's the point.
I don't know which way I went, and that's how I found the hallway.
There was no indication whatsoever. There was only the dark and the quiet. My bare feet on gradually thickening dust. Ew. My ears hammering with the deepening pound of my own heart. The blackness swirling and pulsing in my vision with nothing more than shimmering nothingness. My fingers moved through cold open air, and my foremost thought was that impossible rejected concern.
Where the hell am I?
Dude, turn the fuck around. I had to be in my house, certainly. I had to be somewhere between the pile of wedding gifts I'd never opened and the bathroom door, without a doubt. I had to be somewhere in the hall outside my bedroom. The door I was looking for had to be... I reached left. I reached forward. I reached right. My pulse began to race in my warming ears as I question my limited senses. Something in me told me that I'd stepped too far to have failed to reach the bathroom door. Something in me told me that I should be able to fling my hand out and grasp wood or wall. My logical human brain was calling bullshit on all of this. So, I left the wall, like a moron, and took a step forward, seeking reassurance. I thought, no, bro.
Dude has guts.
Never leave the wall, bro.
Dude, here's the thing too. Like, there's a part of me that like he's kind of like going his own direction now, where I would be like, I don't know if I'd do that. To be honest with you, buddy. But all the way up until this point, I would be the same way. I'm like, this is my house, dude. I know this is my house. The hallway feels a little bit longer. I'm groggy. What's going on here? I know. Where's the light switch? I need to find the light switch. I would be having the same like thought process, you know, but now that he's just in like, I don't know, I'd be wanting to turn around and go back the other way at this point. I'm like, I gotta get back to the bedroom and start over.
My typical fashion of being like, what the hell? And then being like, oh, this is why that makes sense. Absolutely. This guy has hardwood floors and a cat. So he can't, the thickening dust under his bare feet, cat hair. That's cat,
yep,
that's there all the
hair.
fucking time. Yeah. So, yeah, I took a second step, then a third, a fourth, a fifth. Before I took the sixth step, it occurred to me that there was no location in my tiny house where I could take 6 steps and not reach the opposite wall. I was pretty sure that my lack of money for a bigger house was the main reason she'd left me. This pitch-black spaciousness didn't make any sense.
That's why he has the unopened wedding packages.
Unopened wedding gifts, reaches out for the wife, girlfriend that isn't there when he said never mind.
Yeah. Bro, she's getting some way bigger penis.
Yes.
Way bigger.
In a bigger
dude.
house. Yep.
Yeah, dude, he's
Bigger house, bigger wang.
Bigger house, bigger wang, bro. As you can see, my house is much depth to a smaller size because my intellect needs space to roam in terms of like the outside, so I need to get outside so my intellect can go off. But inside is where I contain the intellect because of having a micro. You just gotta contain it.
No, micros stand together.
They more like bump together. Just
together. Not before the bellies do, though.
Oh, absolutely.
This that's why she left also. This pitch-black spaciousness didn't make sense. I'd grab... Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to point out. How dark is this guy's fucking house?
Dude.
Like, you have to be able to see, like, some stuff sometimes.
Bro doesn't have, like one... like, my TV has, like, a light on it all times, I think.
Yeah,
and then, like
things
there's, like...
glow in your house.
The oven has, like, oven lights. You know, the little clock. There's little lights everywhere. It's kind of crazy he just ended up in a weird hallway. But, I mean, it's kind of cool to think about, like, you walking at night, that you can just stumble into another dimension. I think that's kind of cool. Because we all know that waking up in the middle of the night to a pee thing, there's nothing like that grogginess and blackness of that existence.
Right. And really, that's like the terror of like, oh my god, I'm peeing on the floor that snaps you back to reality. So, anyway, I'd grabbed my phone on pure instinct. I'd shoved it in my pajama pants pocket out of habit. I'd been intending on, while peeing, watching some ads on the shitty mobile game I was playing, the same way I always did. He was watching some Haunted Router.
Hell yeah, baby.
I hadn't even thought about it, but when I pulled it out of my pocket and hit the power button, nothing happened. Shit. Right. I'd fallen asleep without plugging it in. At the time, I knew I should have, but I just didn't. It was dead. Heart pounding a little faster, I reversed course without turning. There we go. My hands stretched backwards. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps. 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps. Now we're fucking talking.
Yeah, baby.
I reached out in every direction, hoping desperately to find bumpy paint with my fingertips. There was only cool, churning air. Silence. Blackness. I finally broke the silence with a whispered,
"What the fuck?"
There was no reply. No echo. It was crazy to feel the way I did, but I couldn't deny it. Something was wrong. I stood motionless for what must have been a full minute, 2, 5. Then, I said softly,
"Kitty, treat, treat. Come on, kitty. I know I never named you, but you can't hold that against me. She bought you, after all, and the next day, Kitty! Treat! Treat!
My heart leapt in my throat. From an insane distance, I heard a little whir.
Kitty! Treat! Treat!
There you go, you do it. I turned left and listened in the void, turning my ears back and forth.
Treat! Treat!
He wasn't coming. He couldn't find me. He sounded confused and frustrated.
Treat!
I moved toward him, repeating the call, hearing his response echo closer and closer, but nothing changed. Just cold, roiling nothingness, until I finally felt fur moving against my ankles.
Kitty!
I leaned down and petted him.
Christ, I thought I'd never find you. Yeah, well, I'll get you the treats, I promised.
Ever so carefully, so as to not kick him, I moved forward and found the wall. I didn't know which wall, so I groped along it until I finally felt a doorway. Instantly, it all became crystal clear in my mind, and I reached out for a light switch. Searing white hit my eyes, but I didn't dare blink or look away. I was right by the living room door, exactly as I expected, and I looked back with dire confusion. Everything was normal. There was nowhere that I could have taken 6 steps, let alone 8, and nothing about the experience made sense. Kitty moved back and forth against my ankles, demanding his treats, so I went into the living room to give him his promised treasure. He was a Norwegian forest tuxedo cat, by the way. Ooh! Shout out to tuxedo cats.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Oldest cat, yes.
I got a tuxedo and a calico. They're both waiting on their food right now.
Tuxedo and a calico. That's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Dude, matching cats? What the fuck?
Hey, dude, fun fact is my daughter and his wife both have the same name. It's
yes, they
weird.
do. He was a Norwegian tuxedo forest. He was a
Norwegian.
He was a Norwegian forest tuxedo cat, by the way. Still is. I moved through the house with the aid of several flipped light switches, finally getting the pee I'd needed, and then I crashed, only vaguely wondering what the hell had happened. I would never question it again if I hadn't woke up to find a note on my nightstand. It was written in crayon, blue crayon. I looked at it left, right, upside down, then finally understood. It said,
"Phone kills you."
I sat up ramrod straight in the bed the moment I parsed it. I probably should have done that sooner, actually, since the very existence of the note violated one basic fact. As of 11 days before, I lived alone. Phone calls, parents, police, pacing, pizza, Pepsi, Prison Break. I didn't watch it when it originally came out. I was decades late to the party, sue me. Nothing came of the incident. Someone had left a threatening note in my fucking house while I'd been asleep, and I couldn't make sense of it. No one could. Eventually, as my pain over the ghosting faded, I watched all of Prison Break in 2 weeks, and then all of Red Dwarf in another 2.
Dude, it was like, alright, time to binge some Netflix.
That was a weird aside. Okay, alright.
I need to take a break. Let's watch Prison Break.
Dude, what the fuck? Like, that's so strange, bro. Okay. I watched all of Prison Break in 2 weeks, then all of Red Dwarf in another 2, with only Kitty to accompany me. Bro, name your fucking cat. I began to wonder if the note had truly been threatening at all. It was written by the cat.
Yeah, dude.
The cat's fucking with him. I'd been asleep. If the author of the note had wanted me dead, wouldn't I be dead?
Phone kills you.
I stared at it in my hand. The police were like, "Here you go. You can keep this note.
You can take that back. No,
You take that back with you, bro.
There's no
we don't want
fingerprints
that.
on
Get
it.
the fuck out of here, bro. Ghost note? Hell no." I stared at it in my hand. A very real piece of paper with very real blue crayon. Blue crayon? Blue crayon. I stared off into space, haunted. Why did I? My phone had been dead. When I'd been lost in the dark, somehow, impossibly, reaching out for the walls that should have been there, my phone had been out of power.
Phone kills you.
Oh my god. If I entertained the note a different way, not as a threat, but as a warning, then it was telling me something very different. The note might have been telling me that my phone, had it turned on, would have killed me? Why?
How?
How? Oh, I couldn't. It like turns around. I couldn't know. Not yet. But if I took the note that way, it meant one thing was certain.
Someone had been there, in the dark, watching me.
In a rather manic fit of paranoia, I got up and ran about my house, using a measuring tape to gauge the span of every wall, every corner, every door jamb. I'd taken 6 steps that had been, in some inexplicable and impossible manner, wrong, and then I'd taken 8 back. Still not finding the original wall, only finding my way left to Kitty's distant responses to my promises of 2-calorie treats. It wasn't possible. The measurement constrained the lay of the house in chill winter daylight, and by their testament, it wasn't possible. I constrained my steps to minimal mouse-like movements made timid by darkness. It wasn't possible. To the house, I said quite crassly,
Fuck you.
The house frowned.
Big sad house.
Hey, listen, I'm not a castle. Why are you mad at me? I'm not a castle.
You're the one going through some shit, dude.
It's not my fault your wife left you.
Yeah. The house frowned. It had been built in 1917, long before modern human notions of space and time. What? Long before modern human notions of space and time? What fucking year is this guy in?
Yeah, well, no. See, here's what happens when you go into a house of like the olden times, one of them old Yeller style houses, those cabins in Schmiblum land. You sometimes just trip and fall into another dimension because they didn't know to put a wall there. It's a wall, but their wood was different. It was interdimensional wood. So we kicked that out years ago. No profit in interdimensional wood. The profit's in the wood that doesn't slip you into the space of getting like ate by a giant monster. So you're unless your cat saves you.
They're like, well, we broke down a nether portal to build this little neighborhood out of. It wasn't the house's fault. To Kitty, I said,
Dude, this house has a hallway.
Kitty looked up at me with skeptical yellow eyes.
Not this one.
I told him.
Another one. A colder one. Only slightly.
He didn't really react.
I'll prove it.
I promised.
But the question is how?
He lowered his eyelids for a moment.
Right. I have to recreate the conditions. Good idea. But did it require night? I blocked all the windows by pulling down the blinds and drawing the curtains that she'd insisted on spending thousands of dollars on, stupid bitch. The combined effect made it difficult to see in the most rooms, but with all the internal doors closed, the main hallway was completely dark.
That explains it from earlier, too, with, like, it's got blackout curtains all over the house and stuff. Okay. And they don't have a bunch of appliances plugged in and stuff like that. So
yeah, you think he would have put them, put in some, like, cool stuff, but I guess he wants to recreate it, so he's just going and unplugging all of his Batman night lights. He's like, oh, darn it. Oh, jeez, I guess I gotta unplug these Batman light bulbs.
He needs to go and, like, just slash all the curtains and be like, fucking bitch, I didn't want these, this color sucks!
We could have got these from Temu for $15, but no, we had to have the gold-encrusted ones.
Dude, yes. That's so funny. It was enough. I groped my way around a few times before I realized I needed to be a bit more disoriented. To truly prepare, I emotionally let go, and then I left my phone in my empty bedroom. After all, the note had been pretty clear.
Phone killed you.
Once that was done, it's like red rum. Once that was done,
Red, phone kills you. Red, phone kills you. Phone kills you.
Once that was done, I spun around several times, reminding me of the game the kids had played in the 90s, long before modern notions of games.
1900s, dear God, who was born in that era? Like, old people. You probably haven't even seen your balls in so long because they've crusted over with oldness, you disgusting plebeians. A bunch of fogies.
Go ask portal jumping grandpa over there, and he's like, yeah, you had to be around.
It's funny. So you cut out there, so it just sounded like you were jumping through portals. Like, red.
Yeah, they're even better then. Yeah, that's him leaping in and out of time.
Yeah. Grandpa's bleeping again, damn it.
So, spin around with your forehead on a baseball bat, touching the ground, then try to run somewhere. To something. I couldn't remember the rest of the game, beyond half-recalled images of some show with a far too cool song. A show called Wild and Crazy Kids. The oft-repeated names of the young hosts flashed in my head from the original intro. Annette Chavez, Omar Gooding, Donnie Jeffcoat.
Hey, I'm a Jeffcoat. That's crazy. There's somebody with my... Dude,
Donnie
that's...
Jiffy Coats.
Dude, like that's wild that there was somebody named Johnny Jeffcoat when my name is Jeff Coates. Like, it's one letter away from being my exact name. That's insane. That is goober mentality.
Dude, M59 knew we were going to read this story and threw your name in there. And my first name is actually Omar.
No, Omar Ben Gooding. I knew it. I knew something was off about you, Omar. You said it was Ben. I'm like, you don't look like a Ben. You look like an Omar.
Wait, Omar Gooding. Another image flashed in my head of a college girlfriend that made me watch every episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, dude, I would have jumped off a building.
Nah, dude, anything for a crumb, bro.
Dude.
But way after that, after college, a much later season, a character that had definitely been named Omar Gooding, but at the time I was lost. I was lost in the dark. Like, dude, if this guy can use just thinking back to Grey's Anatomy episodes, and he becomes so bored and detached that he falls through space and time, like, that's fucking...
So what's funny is while I was first watching One Piece, my wife was watching Grey's Anatomy, and we were watching it in different rooms because neither of us wanted to deal with what the other person was watching.
Like, literally, like, such apathy that you can have two shows going on at once to the other thing in the room. Like, those are complete opposites. Besides, they both have too many episodes.
Yeah, no. I once saw somebody say that the female version of One Piece is Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, I believe that 100%. My compulsive need to explore this mystery suddenly seemed like a terrible idea. My fucking guy. He's like, I gotta get back in there. And he gets back in there. And the first second, he's like, why the fuck did I need to get back in here again? He's like, if I got extra space in this tiny fucking house. She complained about this house. I was lost in my own house, with nothing but shifting darkness in my eyes and keening silence in my ears. Out there, somewhere, out there in the unknown void was... How did I even phrase it to myself?
Someone
that could see me. Someone that was aware of me in some way. The thing that separates you and me, hey, you're the one that asked why I know there's a hallway in your house, is that I was ready to die. I was okay with it. I was even longing for it in a wordless, unrealized sense. He's like, all I've got is this fucking nameless cat. I'm so in debt over these goddamn curtains.
Exactly, dude. He's so angry.
Just getting piped down every time I check my phone.
He's just so miserable.
You've probably been there. There's a specific little span after a brutal breakup. It's after the end, but before the beginning of the next era of your life. It feels like a pit in your stomach, or a cheek turned against the sunrise. If it ended there, then she'd eventually hear about it and feel bad. She'd regret her choice.
The ultimate comeuppance.
Dude, this guy, no!
Dude's down the incel, dude.
The hall of cringe.
Dude, he has like two options next, dude. He's either just gonna become like ultimate incel or ultimate angry a nice guy, dude. He's either a nice guy or
man. Come on.
Yeah, dude's broken, bro. I did actually say aloud, fuck you. That's the next line, bro. So salty.
But I knew she couldn't hear me. I felt pathetic, small, uncared for. And in that moment, I knew I was there. I'd found the hallway. It was slightly chillier than the one I knew, slightly quieter, slightly dustier. I stepped forward nervously, heart pounding in the dark. The only sensation I was sure was real. I wanted a wall. I needed a wall. Please, for the love of God, not that I'd ever prayed, but I could really use you now. A wall, any wall. 8 steps, 9, 10, 30, 40, holy shit, I was fucking dead certain now that I was no longer in the lay of what I knew. 50 steps? I began to cry, noiselessly, quietly, alone, as I passed 50 steps. Nothing makes a man okay with admitting he cried like 50 unknown steps in the dark. Embarrass me, call me names, deride me, point and laugh. I didn't give a single shit so long as I was seen, so long as we had the light of that all humanity shared. My fingers hit a wall, and I sobbed and laughed openly until I began following it. It was no release, no salvation. I found a corner. I turned. My shin hit something, and I reached down in pain, only to find smooth painted curves unseen. A rocking horse.
A rocking horse?
I did not own a rocking horse.
We didn't
hadn't
even have
even
the chance to have kids.
The dust was palpable here, squeezing in between my toes.
I was ready to die.
Ready. Sorry, go ahead and do that one again.
I was ready to die. Sorry, I felt like it like works with the double. I should.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I'll be able to. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't like give you a full. We did it earlier, and then I was like, I'll just let Ben take it. I'm like, oh, it would be cool if I jumped in right here without any warning.
Because there's not really dialogue, so
yeah. It's been a little rough for you. I feel a little bad. This one's been all on Omar Ben. Omar Ben Gooding has done all of it, dude.
Poor Omar. I was terrified, and I hadn't left Kitty enough food, but I was ready to be done.
He just left his cat to die.
Yeah, you're right. Dude, he didn't even give it a name, dude. I called out.
Treat! Treat!
Several times, knowing he would never hear me this deep. A 1 in a million lifeline. In God, if it or he or she existed, to throw me a bone.
Nope.
I let go of the wall.
I wandered straight into the unknown void.
The dust was my only guide, squeezing into my toes as I stepped less and less nervously. It embraced my feet, hugged my ankles, and warmed my shins. I came to a stop as my knees found resistance against choking, piled dust.
Nose running, I looked this way and that, seeing nothing.
Hearing nothing. No, that's not entirely accurate. The void has a sound. The raw blankness of nothingness grates the ears and the eyes in a way that can only be conveyed to those who have felt it. You might have, once or twice. You're probably asking for that self-same reason. I was okay with dying. I'd already committed myself to the unknown void in my very own empty home. Sorry, Kitty. I love you the way one living being loves another, but I can't love you the way one human loves another. I reached out for the ultimate blackness, the end of perception, the scythe-bearing, empathetic smile of death.
And a hand closed around mine.
I didn't panic, but I did hold in my breath.
I knew instantly who it was. Well, who it had to be. Not who it turned out to be.
To the darkness, I asked.
Why does phone kill me?
A voice whispered from the darkness, female and uncertain with words.
If you know, if you see.
She made a sound. I asked. She asked back. I'm just kidding. But through our grasped hands, I could feel her nod. It just... She didn't need to elaborate. With some sort of crunching or implosion. Was death. Death? I was ready for it. But not before I found out the identity of this girl in the dark. The only thing I knew was that, based on her warning, written in blue crayon, she didn't want me to die.
That was enough.
Someone cared the basic human minimum. Someone had taken the 8 seconds required to scribble a note in blue crayon, warning that
phone kills me.
Someone wanted me to live. Holding her hand in the void, uncertain why I felt that it was risky to speak louder, I whispered,
"Do you know the way home?"
Her fingers squeezed my hand.
Always have.
Even now, I'm not sure how I could tell she smiled after that response.
Kitty's name is Jake.
Jake?
I laughed softly.
That seems right.
She tugged, and I followed. I could feel her taking steps, and I tried to do my best to emulate them, despite only feeling them through her gripping hand and outstretched arm. We walked for minutes, Hours. We sat down to sleep for a time, and I woke up feeling exhausted but mentally sharp, the way one does after a 6 or 7 hour sleep. She pulled me on, and I stumbled upstairs, along hallways, through a waist-high pool of warm water that smelled like unseen cinnamon. I dried out as we walked. I coughed as we crawled through tunnels that squeezed my shoulders into my chest.
She never let go.
Eventually, she paused, and I felt her moving rhythmically.
She was riding the rocking horse.
The darkness had become a sheath, then, for my mind, for my senses. Beyond that sheath, I knew she was looking up at me and smiling. I whispered,
Blue Crown.
She laughed and nodded, unseen, at that. We'd found the barest, most tenuous, most obscure understanding. We stepped and stepped and stepped, and bear with me here, we stepped. It was dark. It was cold. It was not in the strictest sense, in every sense, possible. And then, I felt Jake rubbing against my ankles, hoping for treats. My laughter broke the barrier in exactly the way I had hoped to avoid earlier. With a snapping sense of physicality, I was back in the reality I'd always known. I reached over and flipped a light switch, completely aware of my exact location.
The light was shining.
The light was harsh.
The light was white.
I looked over, eyes brimming with pain, and I froze. I don't know you, obviously. You're asking, probably jokingly, about the hallway in your house. If you're a lonely man, you've probably been feeling so strongly. The very same notions I was entertaining. Was this a new opportunity for happiness? A new excitement? A new love? A girl out of the dark? No. Nothing like that. By definition, the creature holding my hand was not something a human could love. If you're a woman, you've probably been guessing at the thoughts running through my head unseen, out of a sense of what men consider secretly, but constantly, in that gross manner outside the light of polite conversation. But no, even then, the creature holding my hand was not something a human could feel, well, anything for. She, for it was undoubtedly a she, in the sense that humans call things by the tone of voice and the physical equation of the form, had taken a massive, insane, and impossible risk by showing me the way home, by letting herself be perceived. I recognized this, even as I recognized her. I couldn't tell you how I knew, or how I understood. It's a sense that humans must have had since the early days, since the time of caves and fires, since the time of lightning bolts and cheetahs. It was the uncanny valley, the
What the fuck? Is that thing?
Is it dead? Is it diseased?
Is it
Is
right?
it right? The question can't even be asked properly. I almost retched. I almost pulled away and screamed. I almost ran for the hammer in the closet and bashed my own head in. The computational matter that made up my brain certainly shrieked for these limited, possible choices, leaning most toward the hammer, but her hand held mine, softly and fearfully. It was not possible to feel empathy for what I was seeing.
I was ready to die. That gives a man charity of emotion unlike any other situation.
So, I closed my eyes.
All that was left, all I was left with were her fingers grasping mine.
She lived in the dark her entire life, so that was how I accepted her, how I rationalized her. In the black of my own shuttered perception, eyes held tight, fingers on fingers. Heart racing to near nausea, I asked quietly,
Are you?
Through our fingers, I felt her move in a way that indicated a nod.
Blue Crown.
Blue Crown.
I'd known from the very moment I saw the note. Breathing deep a few times to stave off panic, I smiled, aware that she could see it.
Blue Crown.
For the next 5 days, I walked my own house with my eyes closed. It was a difficult adjustment, but I knew enough now to keep my own location specific. You can only find the hallway in your house if you're lost. That's the key. You have to lose your anchor. You have to be alone. You have to be without direction, without hope. You have to be ready to die. Or maybe, you just have to be half awake and stumbling around in the dark. I haven't tried enough to know for sure. That weekend, I logged onto my family video call with another chair pulled up next to mine. I had Jake in hand and he was purring. He loved her easily because he already knew her. She had always been there, skulking about my home at night when I was asleep, when I wasn't perceiving. That was why Jake had gotten fat. She'd been feeding him, even before the breakup. She'd always been there. She'd always been with me, fearful of being seen, but loving, caring. She didn't create my hallway, or your hallway. It was just a refuge she'd found, the same way yours find refuge in the hallway your house has. They don't abandon you. They don't give up on you. They love you even though they can't be loved in return, can't be looked at, can't be felt for. Unless you close your eyes and try not to think about it. Their fingers are like ours, their hands are like ours, and their faces are like ours.
So their vaginas are like ours.
Yeah,
That's all he's thinking about, bro. Bro's mad lonely. He's like, it's that Ghostbusters scene, bro.
So many notes. I have so many notes after this. I wanted to just trying to. Okay. I can't. I have so much to talk about. If they weren't what they were, they could walk among us without issue. It's not the shape that's the problem. I started the video call with my webcam aimed at the ceiling. My parents asked me what was going on with that, and I told them I had someone to introduce them to. Someone they'd once cast out, without quite realizing the existence they were giving her instead. I didn't blame them. They couldn't have known. None of us could have known. We'd always been told that ending a life was simple. Painful, but simple.
Mom?
I said with a smile, eyes held tightly shut.
I found her. Do you recognize her?
I reached out and angled the webcam down.
I found my sister. Dear God. No! Oh my God, brother! Oh my God, dude! His sister was so ugly. He almost wanted to bash his head in with a hammer.
Dude,
There is so much.
I don't understand. There's so much going on here at the end.
Well, the whole story has a lot of brilliance, but a lot of just garbage. So it's hard. This one's a tough one for me because I think it's brilliantly written, and the way this guy writes keeps you engaged. His writing style is 100% engaging, and throughout the thing, I can paint a picture of everything he's laying out from beginning to end. The darkness, the feelings, the vibe, the kind of testiness you get when you're in that feeling, and it's just the idea is solid, but it loses me with Blue Crown Girl.
That is where it goes so deeply off the rails. Before, like, the whole time that we're reading this, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, dude, this is, like, one of the best internet horror writers and I still think that, by the way, I still think this, that the M59 Gar is one of the best horror writers that I have ever read on the internet, hands down. The first story being this genius metaphor for Alzheimer's and the experiences of it and stuff like that. And then this one, for so long, was about like this just wonderful metaphor for a breakup. And just sinking like deeper and deeper and deeper down into the loneliness and being lost in your house like he's never leaving anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All he's got is this fucking useless ass cat.
Well, and on top of that
and
too,
then, like, dude, the phone kills you. When we started having to do the like the what? Like over and over again, I was like, where the fuck is this going to? And then she's like riding the rocking horse in the darkness after they're like cuddling in the ashes for 8 hours. And I was like, okay, dude, what's going on?
Dude, this is
and then he takes her out into the light and he's like, I knew then that I could never look at her again, but shit that she was going to be living with me. And I'm like, is this a metaphor for like taking home like a slam pig?
Dude, that's what I was thinking, dude. I thought he hopped on the grenade, brother. I was like, oh, he brought a fat woman home or whatever, right?
In there.
He brought
just all over the curtains.
Bro literally picked up that chick from my 600-pound life and brought her home, brother.
Yes.
And I was like, this took like a rapid incel, right? And I'm like, I'm down for it. This is funny. The sister thing caught me so off guard.
It's his sister. His sister is the slam pig that he took home to replace his wife?
Yeah, sweet home Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
No.
there's the twist is out of like so far out of left field. It's just like oh,
Such a
dude,
good
read the first
story
comment.
to
Read the
tell.
first
It was
comment.
still so
I'm so
good.
confused. So far, I've come up with the ghost of an aborted sister, abandoned imaginary friend, previous female identity of a trans man. Please tell us what the significance of the blue crowd is. The story is scary and beautiful. I have to know, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Is there's so much good writing in the story that keeps you engaged, keeps you moving forward. The difference between this one and the last one is almost the punchiness of it. It's almost like
Yeah.
that thought process you have. It's like, and this. It's like rungs of a ladder.
Yes, the writing has been so consistently good between these both of these stories. They're just so good. And I just don't know about, like, dude, the turn at the end of this one was so
Dude, this
wild.
jumps the shark halfway through so hard, though. So hard. And then it starts grabbing you again because the writing style, and then it just, but it's his sister. It's just so much. I don't know, dude. That took me way out of the thing. I see, and the thing too about the cats and everything is it works so well, 'cause especially if you own cats, because it all plays. Everything about the writing plays so perfectly, except for like the entity. The entity is the worst part of the story.
I still don't get why the fucking phone kills you.
I don't know either.
Why does the phone kill you?
No answers. No answers. This is
Fuck. I have to dig.
okay, dude. There's so many people that are so confused with this story, but
If you see, oh, he couldn't turn the phone light on. Maybe.
maybe I don't
If
know
you
because he saw her in the
if you
light.
see,
He
you
saw-
die.
But he saw her in the light for a second. It made him want to bash his
That's
head
true. He
in.
does see her. Yeah, and it made him want to kill himself.
That's it. That's okay. Yeah, I mean it makes
Yeah,
sense.
he woke up next to his sister,
Yeah.
and he wanted to go kill himself.
Oh,
And then he was
no.
like, you know what? I'm just gonna own it. Let's go call mom.
Hey mom! Hey mom! Check out who I
birthday,
just
Mom.
bagged.
You need to get 2 different calls today. You're getting 1 call today.
Yeah, but this guy's
And guess what? I also found love.
I found love. It's my sister. Oh, dude. I think we needed that story, though. We needed that story after the first one. The first one, I couldn't have gone to bed after doing this podcast. I would have been just so sad. But this one's...
Someone they'd once cast out without quite realizing the existence they were giving her. I didn't blame them. They couldn't have known.
So that hallway is like where abortion babies go.
Okay, so he was walking into his mom's ghost vagina so he could grab
Okay. We're going into mom's whisker pit now?
to take her to Kentucky Slamville.
Oh,
Or
dude.
to Slamville, Kentucky.
There's so many different directions this is taken that I feel almost like
And
it's so
And she's like,
odd.
I need my rocking horse for my crayon. And he's like, well, bring it. Like, don't look at me. You get down in the truck.
This is such a weird one, dude. This is such a weird
just-
one. I'm trying to think of even a movie that I could compare it to where the first half just has me like intrigued and like fully into it, and then it just loses me completely.
Crying game.
Fair.
No, I'm just
Fair. I think Crying Game would be okay. I don't know. That was wild. That one was I'm still confused. I'm like fully. I know I'm a retarded boy. But I mean, the guy. I'm gonna give the guy another bit of love for his incredible writing style.
Oh, no, I love it. I can't help it, man. It was so good. I'm not even disappointed that it wasn't. Well, I guess the house was haunted by his aborted,
Sister.
rebound sister.
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on in this story? I've ripped my headphones.
I'm in
apart
the
trying to figure it
same.
out.
I'm in the same place, dude. I haven't the slightest idea what we just got to, where we're at, why.
Your house has a hallway, and if you go in there, you better get ready.
You're gonna find your aborted sibling, baby. Oh, it's so wild, but I think the first story is one of the best. It has to be one of the best stories. I think it's the best we've read on this podcast. So
Yeah,
far.
I think so.
I think this he holds the best position of stories on the podcast so far, and we've had some good ones.
Yeah.
We've had some good
I've
ones.
had some good ones. But even Your House is the Hallway, man. I'm even putting it up there. It's one
Okay,
of my
so if we
cherished-
had to rank where we're at right now, we've done a fair few now. So if we're what?
Security guard. We did wristbands, security guard, the werewolf story. Oh my god! Actually, there have been a lot.
Yeah. So here's I'm gonna definitive rank it right now. We're ready. Number one so far is definitely the Shattered Life. Shattered Life number one. I'm gonna put the detective one in number two.
Okay.
I think that does a really good. I think that does a really good job with the whole full core thing. 3, guard. The guard's so good. The guard's so good. It's so bad, but it's so good.
After sitting with it and editing and stuff like that for so long, and like just the amount of moments that were like so good of those episodes and stuff. I love those. I love those.
Just listening back to it, because I mean we've both been editing a bunch of them, but listening back to it, it's so funny. It's so funny and so good and so campy and in all the right ways. So it's definitely number 3. Number 4, I'm gonna give it to. Number 4 is definitely Home Invader Story.
Home Invader Story above this one, above Hallway?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You want to know why? Because it did exactly what the Shattered Life did. It took a perspective that I previously had of a story and flipped it on its head.
Okay.
And I have two other stories that are up here, like the detective one and Shattered Life. Both did that. They were both able to do that, and I think that author was able to do that in a very profound way.
And even the top 3, actually, the top 3 being like, I gotta stop looking at this. The Shattered Life, the detective story, and the anime were fucking beautiful. I personally hold the Hallway above.
Really. See, this one's tied. This one's tied with the werewolf one for me.
It's tied with the werewolf one. Okay,
it's tied with the werewolf one for me. I not my cup of tea. The worst is the second part of the Home Invader thing. I'm counting that as its own story because it made absolutely no sense.
But maybe that's why I'm dinging it so hard.
I blocked that from my mind. It's the cat just opened your door. Look at that cat. It wants you to go in the hallway, brother. It wants you to find your aborted sister. That's kind of like the second part feels like it was way disconnected from the first part, to the point that it was like there was a lot of time in between, and so I just don't see that as, I'm like moving it from headcanon where it was person that they were kind of like, that writer was kind of newer to the scene too, so she probably saw all the comments and was like, what, I'm gonna write a story. So
you know what, you might have been like goaded into writing that like long unnecessary.
That's what it felt like. It felt like it was a goaded story more than it was I want to do this because I want to do it. Now, I'm not saying that's 100% what it was, but it kind of had that feeling, and it wasn't bad. It just was over explaining things we already kind of knew. And I mean, we did get the dad though. The dad was pretty dope.
Well, he made a lot of the story worth it too.
But Hallway would be way better if it just was an aborted sister. Just.
That's why I love it. I love this story. The story is so deeply weird.
It is weird. This is definitely Twilight Zone.
Where he's like, I was giving up so deep and just going deeper and deeper into like despair and fear and darkness, and it's just like ashes. He's basically like in the other world at that point. And then Sis pulls up and she's like, "What are you doing, step bro?"
I mean, I can see that's fair. It is this is very Black Mirror. We brought up Black Mirror earlier, but this is more Black Mirror than the last story was Black Mirror. I would say the last story that we read was ended up just being brilliant. Black Mirror always seems to like have to hit a weird turn to where it either really lands or really doesn't. That last story was just kind of like a magnum opus of like And this one was like Black Mirror. This was 100% Black Mirror, where you and your we would both come out with different perspectives of all. I think it's like kind of mid. You like it,
Dude, the fucking twist. The twist was so wild. I can't get over it.
all right. Well, we'll round it out here. I think this is a good place to end it.
That's all I had, dude. I'm spent after that.
Make sure if you guys like this, go check out M59Gar. We will have a link down below. Go read his stories. The dude's an incredible
Thank
writer.
you so much for letting us read these. This was so cool. I hope that they would for this.
Dude has probably one of my favorite writing styles. Like we've read so far. His punchiness, his way of relaying it. So make sure to go give him some updates on Reddit. The dude deserves it. And make sure to give us a rating on Spotify. Like the YouTube video. Subscribe. I want us to be loved. We want to be out here. We want to be doing the thing. But anything else you got to add, Ben?
Like, it takes like 2 extra fucking seconds just to go hit the fucking buttons, people. Come on. Throw us a fucking bone here.
Dude's mad about the curtains. Somebody's really mad about the curtains right now.
Curtains never got resolved. Unresolved plot point. All right, that's all I had.
All right.
We love you.
Catch you guys later.
Don't be too scared tonight.